This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Robbie McRae, the CEO of Caracal Gold. Thank you very much for your time, Robbie. Good to be speaking to you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you, Mark, and thanks for your time. Good morning to you too.
Yes, well, thank you for speaking to us, Robbie. It's been a little while since we spoke. I just want to catch up really on some of the general goings on at Caracal Gold. I know you released your Q2 update, a few weeks ago now, but there was a lot of information in there. And I wonder just first of all, perhaps, can you just sum up maybe some of the key points for you on the operations side of the business? I know one of the focuses was to get these heap leach plants up and running, which seems to be progressing on track.
Yeah, Mark, our primary focus is expanding our production from the current production levels to the 2,000 ounce per month or 24,000 ounce per annum run rate. And a key component of that is the construction of this bigger heap leach plant. We pushed the button on it towards the end of the second quarter, sort of late in June. And things are progressing well. We've got a significant project development team on site, from draftsmen through to project engineers. You name it, and we're working hard to get it fully engineered. Construction has started in certain areas of it, and we're progressing well with the aim of having it done by the end of the year. There's a lot of other things that go around that. You don't just build the heap leach plant. We're building capacity on the mining side. We're expanding the capacity of the underground mining. We're expanding the capacity of the open cast mining. There were a couple of photos that went out a couple of days ago on some new equipment which has arrived on site. So we're effectively building a new mine. So yeah, a lot of hard work going on at the moment, and some good updates which will follow with the progress from what we're doing. We're getting to the stage now where we're moving from the design side into the full construction side. So very soon we'll be breaking ground on the big heap leach pad area, and then it becomes visible for the market and for our shareholders. They can actually visibly see the progress. It's seeing the heap leach pad being constructed is very different to seeing just as a design on paper.
Yeah, okay. As a heap leach pad, then, is that key to getting to that target, that 2,000 ounces? Is that a real milestone that you need to achieve?
Yeah, the current milling plant will never get us there. It's the milling plant we inherited it from Goldplat. We've expanded the capacity of it. We're continuing to optimize. We will be installing the second mill as part of this expansion process. So go from having a single mill to a double mill. But the heap leach plant is the future of the Kilimapesa Hill project. It's a large, low-grade ore body with some nice high-grade pockets in it. High-grade material that will be treated through the milling plant. The low-grade material is going to go into the heap leach. Our pilot plant heap leach, we've got 25,000 ton per month capacity on the pilot plant at the moment. That's that's not quite accurate. 22,500 ton. We've got 3 7,500 ton modules. The big pad is 65,000 ton a month. So it's a proper heap leach operation which we're constructing.
Okay, and that's due hopefully to finish before the end of this year to be actually in production at that point on the heap leach.
Yeah, I've just finished a meeting on it now at the moment, and we're breaking ground on the construction of the pad in the next week to 10 days. So some nice photographs coming out of the bulldozers breaking ground on that very soon.
Okay, excellent. And of course, the work going on here, that affects the ongoing operations generally, I suppose, doesn't it, as well? But hopefully not too adversely.
Yeah, we've as I said, we're spending a lot of time and money expanding the capacity of the mining side. So when you're driving development in the underground, you have to cut back on the actual tonnage that you deliver from the underground. We've had to open up a lot of ground and do a lot of stripping and pre-stripping and stripping and pushbacks on the open pit. So we've had some weeks where we haven't been delivering much ore out of the underground to the plant, which has predominantly been stripping, but that's all stabilizing out now. Rian and his team have got the thing very well programmed, and the target and the goal is, we have to be delivering 3,000 ton a day from the underground and the open cast to the plants next year to feed them. They're going to be hungry monsters. So it's not just building the new plant capacity; it's building the capacity in the mine. We're building additional infrastructure, additional camp infrastructure, ratcheting up the services, the power, the water. We've ordered and we've in the final strokes of the construction of the new laboratory, the bigger mine, the big exploration program that we're running. The bigger operation is going to mean a lot more samples coming through the lab. So the small lab that we had to be expanded. So that lab is being constructed. So we're running multiple projects within the overall project.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of work going on, and presumably a lot of heavy lifting, so to speak, on site that's going, a lot of construction and equipment being moved around. And but all the time you've been able to keep the production going, albeit at a slightly lower level than originally perhaps planned for or hoped for, but it's still ongoing. And then in terms of the exploration, then there was some pictures I saw this morning. You've been doing some more exploration, obviously looking to build for further resources. Is that right? And what's the latest on the exploration that the company's been doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we put out our updated mineral resource on the Kilimapesa hill towards the end of June. It was very early in July. And we announced then that we were moving on to some of the regional targets to follow up on the regional exploration. We've just commenced drilling on the third target now. So we've just commenced drilling on Teng Teng. The second target, Vimrutha, which we finished drilling a couple of days ago. I guess about 60 to 70% of those samples have now been delivered to the laboratory across in Tanzania. It's a very exciting prospect for us. Good mineralization from surface, some really good widths on the mineralization. So we're really excited to start receiving the bulk of the assays of those samples through, and then being able to start announcing it and putting that information out into the market. And then again, the first hole that was put into the Teng Teng targets, which went in over the weekend, and very early stages. We've only cut the first couple of meters. We've only cut the core from the first couple of meters of the hole, but we're in the right style of mineralization. It's lovely greenstone mineralization. Some nice telltale signals that we're in the right area. Lots of artisanal activity on Teng Teng in the past, and Goldplat mine Teng Teng in the past. So we know the gold's there. Goldplat, we're mining plus 10 gram per ton material out of there. And very exciting for me is we're still in mineralization. We were in mineralization from the surface of the hole, and we're still in mineralization down at 125 meters. So it was previously considered to be quite a small target, but I mean, it's very early days, but from this first hole, there's promise. So I think Frank and his team definitely having success on the exploration side. And now it's time to start getting some results out from Vimrutha, and just following the process on Teng Teng. Cut the core, get the core to the lab, start reporting the results. So yeah, I'm quietly excited on the exploration side. Sometimes I have to temper my excitement, but yeah.
Okay, but the geology is looking positive or looking encouraging.
Very, very,
okay.
very, very encouraging. I mean, we've always said we're targeting. We don't believe that geology stops at the border. Across the border in Tanzania, there's large open pit type operations across the border. I've driven there a couple of times down to our Tanzanian prospect, and you pass by big mines, and there's no reason why the geology would stop at the border. We're just across the border. The exploration work was never done. So we exploration work now, and the first signs are that there's definitely promise.
Okay, and you're wanting to take another project on, is that right, in Tanzania? With the Tayax Gold, is that right? You said you progress towards completion of a transaction are being finalised. So is that in its sort of later stages?
Yeah, I mean, we've between us and the previous owners of Tykes, everything is done, and we've moved our team onto site. Our team's been on site for over a month now. There's a couple of pieces of paperwork and regulatory stuff going through the Tanzanian ministry, which Dan Kazungu, one of our non-exec directors, is managing for us. It's just stock standard stuff. It's competition commission approval, transaction, and company registrar type stuff. So that's progressing well. But the progress on site is tremendous. We've got 5 geos on site at the moment. We've fully rehabilitated the camp. We had a great camp left behind. It needed some TLC, but the camp's been fully rehabilitated, and that's not going to excite the market. But what will excite the market, we about halfway through an exercise of relogging all the old core or the previous core that was drilled by Resolute. Some nice visible gold in the relogging of the core that we've seen. And the guys have now started reinterpreting and having a look at how Resolute interpreted the model. And already we've got some fresh eyes, some fresh thinking. We think it could be bigger than what we thought previously. And it's all building up to the point where Frank will present something to the board and say he'd like to get back on site and start re-drilling. And this is the reason, and this is what he's going to do on the re-drilling. So we said we wanted to be drilling, I think we said early in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, apologies. And I think we're on track for that. The work in Tanzania is going really well. We've also had Gerard down there having a look at areas around our licenses and what other ground we could consolidate around our licenses and to expand our footprint and obviously expand the resource. So yeah, we're positive on Tanzania. We've got off to a good start. Work's been done very professionally, very very methodically, and some good updates should follow soon.
Okay, excellent. Well, there's always a lot to cover, I feel, with Caracal, because there's a lot going on, a lot of operations going on. Before I just sum it up, I mean, can I ask you, is it difficult to manage this kind of operation? I mean, I only ever really talk to you, the CEO, but there's obviously a whole team behind you. How do you manage, or how do you find the management of all the activities, from mining at Kilimapesa, getting it into production, building the heap leach, doing exploration and corporate transactions as well?
Yeah, I mean, we made the decision to recruit a strong team. I mean, even though Kilimapesa is a small mine, it still requires many of the same skills, and we've had to recruit strong operational people. I mean, obviously, hopefully soon we can get some of the guys in front of you, like Rian, Frank, etc. But we've got a strong team, and I recruited a team to come in and support me and work alongside me, and the guys have done the same stuff. You know, Rian's had to recruit guys on the operational side as well as the project management side. So we have an operational team and we have a project management team on site. Project management team obviously focused on the expansion, the project team on the optimization and continuing with the production. And then obviously Frank has come in and is now building his exploration team. We've appointed two very strong candidates, I believe, in the last couple of weeks. Let's call them Frank 2. So we've got Frank 2 on the ground in Tanzania, managing the Tanzanian project, and he's got his team. And we've just recruited a very experienced exploration geo out of Burkina Faso. He'll be joining us on Faso. So we're building capacity from a team point of view. And that's how we do it. I mean, we've got teams focused on all the different areas of the operations, and without them, it couldn't happen. I mean, and we've got a very strong focus on building capacity for our amongst the existing teams as well. I mean, we're bringing candidate geologists into the company. We've got a program that they follow. I'm very happy. I mean, on Women's Day, Mining Women's Day, we promoted our first candidate geologist, and she became a fully, she was a qualified geologist from university, but she's now qualified geologist in our eyes on site, and she's heading up part of our exploration program. So we focused on a lot of that, Mark, building capacity and executing on the projects. Yeah.
And I believe has a new president been recently elected in Kenya? Is that right? Is that changing anything, do you think?
Yeah, it was a very exciting time to be here in Kenya during elections. A very robust democratic process. President Ruto won the election with just under 51% of the vote. Raila Odinga came second with just over 48% of the vote. And the president was sworn in yesterday. Everything was peaceful. It's been a fantastic process to observe. And we look forward to supporting the new cabinet and the new government that comes in. Strong support from both candidates during the election campaign for mining. I think it's going to be a priority for getting some, being a strong component of getting the economy stronger here in Kenya. So, yeah, we're looking forward to working with whoever comes in as the new cabinet secretary. We'll work closely with them. And the team will stay in place. It's a strong team and we'll keep working with them. So, yeah, we wish the new government luck, and we're here to support them.
Excellent.
Contribute to the mining side.
That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so just to sum up then, the heap leach, continuing to work to build that, to get that into production, that's the catalyst really to getting to that target of 24,000 ounces, which you've said in the next 6 months, or what was from the previous quarter, the quarter 2 report. So that's still on track. Exploration continuing, Vim Ruther, and of course the acquisition in Tanzania. So there's a fair bit going on. I think the big thing to watch out for I think exploration, first of all, for the market, which I'm sure we will start to see some of that coming at some point. I did see some pictures this morning that you put out on Twitter, but also, of course, the construction of that heap leach plant and getting those production numbers up to that target. I think that will satisfy the craving that the market has, I think, for Caracal Gold. But just to sum up from you, Robbie, things then on track and going as planned, would you say?
Yes, it's not easy, Mark. We're working very hard. I mean, we're working, I wouldn't say 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but we're working 18 hours a day, 6.5 days a week to execute on this project. So there's a lot going on. We're busy. We're an ambitious company. We've always said that. And yeah, I know it's been the market needs news. The market needs to say, and we're aware of that. So it takes some time sometimes to get the news into a format that's deliverable. You've got to get the results. But yeah, we're firmly on track. We're firmly on track across the board.
Okay. Well, I hope to catch up with you soon. Robbie McRae, the CEO of Caracal Gold, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, Mark. Always a pleasure.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.